Ladies and gentlemen, you know this thing over wearing mask and not wearing one has been an ongoing thing now for a couple of months in America, and it didn't help that Trump refused. So of course people are going to follow what he do and they won't wear one either. So now we see many businesses out here refusing to even serve people if they walk in there with no mask. So this came out in the New York Times, July 27th, 2020. The cult of selfishness is killing America. America's response to the coronavirus has been a lose-lose proposition. The Trump administration and governors like Florida, Ron DeSantis, insist that there was no trade-off between economic growth and controlling the disease, and that they were right, but not in the way they expected. Premature reopenings led to a surge of infections. Adjusted for population, Americans are currently dying from COVID-19 at around 15 times the rate in the European Union or Canada. Yet the rocket ship recovery Donald Trump promised has crashed and burned. Job growth appears to have stalled or reversed, especially in states that were most aggressive about lifting social distancing mandates, and early indications are that the U.S. economy is lagging behind the economies of major European nations. So we're falling dismally on both the epidemiology and the economic fronts. But why? On the face of it, the answer is that Trump and allies were so eager to see big job numbers that they ignored both the infection risk and the way the resurgent pandemic would undermine the economy. As I and others say, they failed the marshmallow test, sacrificing the future because they weren't willing to show a little patience. A lot of people feel that way. And there's surely a lot of that explanation, but it isn't the whole story. For one thing, people truly focused on restarting the economy should have been big supporters of measures to limit infections without hurting business. Above all, getting Americans to wear masks. Instead, Trump ridiculed those in masks as politically correct, while Republican governors not only refused to mandate mask wearing, but they prevented mayors from imposing local mask rules. And we know that happened in Atlanta. Also, politicians eager to see the economy bounce back should have wanted to sustain consumer purchasing power until wages recovered. Instead, Senate Republicans ignored the looming July 31st expiration of special unemployment benefits, which means that tens of millions of workers are about to see a huge hit to their incomes, damaging the economy as a whole. And it will. If there's less money circulating in the economy during the time of a recession, it is going to be a huge blow on America. But, it's one of those things. You can't tell these people anything. You really can't. You never could. So it's best that they experience it. They have to experience it, ladies and gentlemen. So what was going on? Were our leaders just stupid? Yeah, they still are. The decisions they're making is going to harm the country. It's not going to make it better. Well, there's a deeper explanation of the profoundly self-destructive behavior of Trump and his allies. They were all members of America's cult of selfishness. You see, the modern US right is committed to the proposition that greed is good, that we're all better off when individuals engage in, in a pursuit of self-interest. Their vision, unrestricted profit, maximization by businesses, and unregulated consumer choice is the recipe for a good society. Support for this proposition is, if anything, more emotional than the intellectual. I've long been struck by the intensity of right wing anger against relatively trivial regulations like bans on phosphorates in detergent. Okay, so, and efficiency standards for light bulbs. The principle of the thing, many on the right are enraged at the suggestion that their actions should take others people's welfare into account. The rage is sometimes portrayed as love of freedom, but people who insist on polluting would say the federal government tear gassing peaceful protesters they call freedom is actually absent of responsibility. So, what do y'all think? I'm not gonna blame everything on the politicians 100%, because you know what, the people out here also have a choice. You don't have to listen to these politicians, right or left. You don't have to listen to none of them. If you feel they're not leading us in the right directions, you don't have to listen to them. If you feel you need to have a mask on, you continue to wear one. And those people that don't, oh well, I'm not going to be concerned. These are grown-ups making these decisions. These are not children. So let them deal with whatever happens. I mean, we've seen it before. But what do you think? Do you think the reason why we cannot make progress on COVID is because people are refusing to wear a mask? Or do you think it's something else? But we all know this thing has always been mishandled from day one. It's just, leadership has been horrible in America, and it continues to be horrible. It's an election year. I know people want to get elected. They want the economy going so it looks good for Trump. But every time they want to reopen, it just seems like everything has to reverse. So what is the point in trying to get out here and reopen stuff? And at the end of the day, you got to close it all down because everything is surging in the country. They're still saying out of 50 states, 44 are seeing increases in coronavirus. And because we have a nonstop group of people running to the beaches and going out to parties and going in bars and doing it, you have zero chance of getting rid of this in the fall. It's going to be rampant in the fall. I mean, here we are at the end of July, and we're no better off. In fact, worse off now than we were in March. But don't expect anybody to be responsible for this, y'all, because this is how they operate. They do not operate in accountability in this country. If it don't work out their way, it's never their fault. Okay, they're even like this on jobs. If it don't work out their way, it's never their fault. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.